Welcome back. At the end of the previous part, well, all was revealed for definite. It's like, yeah, Barak von Zeich's apprentice is Kazuma. What that means, we don't know. Why they've just come out with it rather than it be this big secret in the story. The writers, this is why they've done that. I don't know. It's significant. What does it mean? It's interesting. It's fascinating. But first, before we talk to him about his apprentice, I do want to actually investigate the picture we just got here, because I want to keep an eye on like the plus and minuses. We saw them on the business card for this guy. There's his monocle there. So like they're significant somehow. Are they just literally his calling card? Or is there something else going on? So keep an eye on those. Let's actually see, can we do anything with that other than just a magnifying glass? Just a magnifying glass, alright. Alright. Right, so, your apprentice. What is your interest in my apprentice exactly? You act as if you know the man or something. Well, kinda do. Since when has he been in your care? I don't recall you having an apprentice before I left Britain 6 months ago. Lord Strongheart introduced him to me about 3 months ago now, with instructions to mentor him as a prosecutor. But he didn't tell you why, did he? The man appears to be suffering from amnesia. He's forgotten every last detail about himself. But that's suspicious in itself. He has amnesia. Tomorrow he will appear in court at my side. What? He's to serve as my judicial assistant on Lord Strongheart's orders. He'll be in court with us. Now then, unless I'm much mistaken, I believe this conversation has run its course. Oh, yes, thank you. There's so much going on here. There's so much we need to know. Definitely saw a reaction there. Aw, when Suzuo-san called out like that, it really seemed to hit a nerve. When she called out Kazuma-sama. You'd already met that masked man, hadn't you, Mr. Naruhodo? Yes. Yesterday, in fact, at Lord Van Zeich's office. I see. And if Kazuma-sama really is still alive, it means that Mr. Sholmes lied to us. I know. We're going to need to speak to him about that. And he's probably at Madame Tuspel, so we should probably head there next if we can. You're going to have to leave now. What? The forensic investigation team are due to arrive shortly. If they find you here, it will cause problems. What sort of problems? Foreign affairs problems. Well, we could do without that. Alright, we'll be on our way. Let's go, Mrs. Sithe. Of course. Oh, it's just dropped me off straight here, is it? Okay. Right, to Madame Tuspel's it is. 23rd of October, Madame Tuspel's. Oh my, no wonder it's called the House of Horrors. I'd like to turn on my heels and go straight home, via the confectionery. Being scared makes you crave sweets? I can understand that. I was looking forward to a reunion after 6 months away, but there's no sign of Mr. Sholmes anywhere. That's strange. You should be here investigating the abduction of the waxwork. He's probably doing his other job again. Oh well, I suppose we'll just have to come back again later. Yeah, I'm sure. There's one thing I want to check first. Oh, he's not there. Ah, there's a stepladder here, look. Oh, yes. Stepladder. I think perhaps we should let the proprietress know that someone's left it out. The stepladder, I mean. Is something wrong? Why do I feel as though I just managed to sidestep an argument? That is interesting. Where is Mr. Sholmes then? I expected him to be here. Ah, yes. Heavy curtains in the middle of the house are horrors. Whatever's on the other side of them, you just know it's going to be terrifying, don't you? Sign says it's the Madame Tuspel special exhibit. It seems you have to pay extra to go inside. I know, can you believe that? Pay more money? As if we haven't been scared enough already. It's not my doing, Mr. Naruhodo. Alright then, that's not what I want. Back out, and let's move on to the forensics laboratory. I expected Holmes to be there, but okay. Maybe he's over here. He's gotta be somewhere. Oh! Look at this place. 23rd of October, Forensics Laboratory. I believe this is it. Dr. Sive's laboratory. That chemical smell really assaults the nose. And there's plenty to assault the eyes in here, too. It looks as though the doctor isn't here. But we're here now. So we may as well do some sightseeing, don't you think? What a seasoned tourist you've become, Miss Sithe. Could just have a little look around. Being careful not to upset any restless souls. Alright, let's have a little gander then. Start up here. Those large jars seem to have pale things floating around inside them. I suppose they're fruit liqueurs or something. Or like the pickled miboshi plums we make back home. Ah, Father had jars like this in his laboratory as well. I expect they're human organs in a preserving solution. Probably as examples of some rare medical condition. Miss Sithe, there are some things in the world that it's perfectly fine never to know about. Ever. Oh. So as I said, I'm sure they're fruit liqueurs or miboshi, aren't they? Of course. Especially that one with the skull there. Look at all the bottles on the shelves in these cabinets. What an assortment of chemicals. These ones here are labelled highly toxic. That's worrying, because there are also things that look like salt and pepper shakers in there. Oh yes, and they actually say salt and pepper on them. The doctor probably spends a lot of time in this room, I suppose. Perhaps she has meals here sometimes. Life goes on, even when you're surrounded by death. That's just asking for trouble, isn't it? A table and a set of sharp tools. When you consider each in isolation, it all looks quite innocent. So why is it that when you put them side by side, they all seem so horribly disturbing? It might be best not to ponder it too deeply. Seeing the large tome that's open on the desk does make me wonder, though. How can anybody concentrate on bookwork with this acrid odour of chemicals in the air? Do I ever have to have a cast iron constitution? Or a really terrible sense of smell? Just get used to it. Nothing. Look at the owl! No music in here, it's very weird. Very quiet. That looks like an owl and a crow up there. I know. And they haven't even twitched since we came in here. Well, no, they wouldn't have. They're taxidermy mounts, Mr. Naruhodo. Ugh, I was afraid you were going to say that. I've been trying very hard to tell myself they're just sleeping with their eyes open. Yes, I think perhaps you were wise to put something like your Daruma doll on display in the office instead. Well, look at this. What a magnificent display case. The cherry wood has been polished to a high sheen, and the intricate carving is a joy to behold. Western cabinet makers really are very skilled, aren't they? Do you have nothing to say about the skeleton inside, Mr. Naruhodo? Miss Suzuto, can't you tell that I'm trying very hard to avoid talking about the terrifying contents of this case? It's how I cope. I'll be sure to remember that from now on. It's like he keeps trying, but no. I suppose this is Dr. Sive's desk. Ugh, I would not like to work in a place like this. I kind of would, but not in a real situation. I'd like a fake room with fake stuff like this, like a House of Horrors, like the waxwork, that kind of thing. Where it's like just something really macabre, you know. It's very tidy though, isn't it, Mr. Naruhodo? Imagine how efficiently she must work. The lighting is poor, which is bad for the eyes, and the chemical smell can't be good for you. Not to mention the skeleton washing over you as you work, which is definitely bad for the nerves. Well, yes, those are valid concerns, I suppose. I could just about cope with a one-eyed Daruma doll watching over me, but that's all. See, I have in the corner a Jack Frost staring at me, so you know. We've all got our things, is that it? Very quiet, very nothing. That's it? That's it? There's got to be more in here. This is a new place. Seriously, nothing? I can't move around. It's gonna be like the teacup situation you get at. Look at this big, thick book here. It appears to be an accounting ledger. It's a record of the forensic investigation team's spending, I think. Oh. What is it? It's clear that the team purchases various equipment and supplies on a monthly basis, but... well, one entry seems rather strange. Really? In what way? They're buying 500 scalpels every month. 500? They must be working really hard on dissecting corpses. I don't know. Judicial autopsies are only carried out in certain special circumstances. Scalpel blades can be sharpened too. It does seem a bit strange, you're right. 500 scalpels a month? Could they possibly be using them all for? Huh. What are you doing? Hey, do it. Sorry, we, had something we wanted to ask you, but you weren't here, so, I mean, she has a similar thing going on here with, like, you remember I was saying about the plus and minus, I want to keep an eye on it. She has a plus, but it's a very different kind of plus shape, it's more ornate, but maybe there's something to that. We'll keep an eye on it. Sorry, we, had something we wanted to ask you, but you weren't here, so... I like how she has the snake thing on her arm as well. So you thought you'd snoop around? That's acceptable to you people from the East, is it? Well, what do you want? Lord Strongheart told us, you see, that it was, you who examined the victim's body. Mr. Asmund's body, I mean. So we came to ask you about your findings on Lord Strongheart's advice. Very well. If the Lord Chief Justice has given his consent, I'll tell you what our investigation revealed. But when we're done, you must leave immediately. Okay. Your findings. So, you want to know what the forensic investigation team determined from its examination of the scene? The victim, Mr. Ori Osman, was who disappeared from the experimentation stage amid an explosion, and the Mr. Asman who appeared moments later partway up in the Crystal Tower. Without question, one and the same person. That is the team's conclusion. I disagree. But that can't be right. If it was an elaborate trick, we can only speculate about how it was carried out. Let's see, if two people who looked very similar to each other were involved, they could have made it appear as if one single person had switched places, couldn't they? Very true. But sadly in this instance, there was not the case. The man who disappeared and the man who subsequently reappeared was the same person, unless one was a waxwork figure of him. The fingerprints at the scene made that quite evident. Fingerprints. They're not yet officially recognized as forensic evidence in the British justice system, but one day they will be used as an investigative aid as a matter of course. Oh my, but that would mean that the instantaneous kinesis actually took place. So where does that leave us? My team was tasked with investigating, not drawing conclusions. Instantaneous kinesis is impossible, and yet the body did move from one place to another. This hasn't cleared anything up at all. It's made the whole thing even more of a mystery. Nah, she's just wrong. That's what it's done. What the hell? Again, another similar plus sign going on here. On the left. There left. Mama, what is this? Where did she spring from? And did she just call the doctor Mama? Ooh, this is a lawyer, dear. Oh. Hello? To meet you, pleased to meet you. Yes, I'm a defense lawyer. Mama? Yes? Can I cut this one open? What? Oh, dicey. Never seen inside an Eastern person before. Want to know what it looks like? Of course you can't. It's a live specimen, as you can very well see. That can be changed. Boring. I think I just had a near-death experience. Oh dear. Mr. Naruhodo, you're as pale as a corpse. Then let's leave before I'm mistaken for one. Well, I think we've done all the investigating we can here for now. If we could just determine the whereabouts of Mr. Trevor. I'm sure Gina and little Toby won't let us down now. Now then. Do you think we ought to try to speak with Mr. Sholmes at this point? I've tried! I don't know where he is! We have things to discuss and I'm dying to meet with him again after all these months. Yes, it's quite possible he might know something useful. You're right. We ought to find him at Madame Tussbell's. I tried! He's supposed to be working there as a temporary waxwork exhibit. He wasn't on display. He's got to be there now, you know, because the story's pointing me there, but, like, where was he before that? Yes, Iris told me all about his latest unusual venture. Alright then, let's do that at least. So, what are you doing at the moment, Doctor? Keeping a close eye on things so no impertinent Easterners think they can look around my office. Are there such impertinent Easterners around? How terrible. Yes, you. She doesn't mince her words, Miss Susato. I think perhaps it's time we left. Yeah, maybe. Right, let's get out of here. And head back to Madame Tussbell's. '23rd of October, Madame Tussbell's Museum of Waxworks. Here we are again at the House of Horrors. Afraid I haven't gotten used to the place yet. I'd still like to turn on my heels and go straight home, via the confectionery, of course. Sithe-san really is after something sweet today, isn't she? Hey! What's the matter? Look, Mr. Naruhodo, look at that waxwork. I'm quite sure it wasn't there before. Yeah, there we go. Looks exactly like Mr. Sholmes down to the very last detail. Uh-huh. What is it? Oh, sorry, I think you'll find, that's the temporary waxwork himself. Ah, the friend of my dedicated employee. Oh, yes, hello again. It's Ryunosuke Naruhodo. I must say, I am quite spellbound by the great detective. He is a marvel. My precious waxwork is already back where it belongs. You don't mean... But yes, the mystery is solved already. Wow, Mr. Sholmes can really engage his brain when he's hungry enough. So as you can see, he has returned to his habitual duties. Yes. His habitual duties. Allures. Do not disturb. Poor Suzuto-san. She looks very perplexed. Let's check the stepladder again. Ah, there's a stepladder there, look. Oh, yes, a stepladder. I think perhaps we should let the... Yeah, it's the same again, isn't it? That's a shame. I was hoping there was going to be something else there. Changed, right. We really do need to speak to Mr. Sholmes, and I am longing to say hello again. But where is he? Look at him there. I think you might find he's quite nearby, actually. Oh. What are you? Indeed, my dear fellows, it is I! The world-famous great detective and waxwork, Sherlock Sholmes. She died. Suzuto-san! Suzuto-san, speak to me! What have you done, Sholmes? My most humble apologies. I thought I'd died and gone to eternal paradise for a moment via London. My dear madam, allow me to make amends by offering you a tasty free deduction at some point. As long as it's not of questionable street food quality. I don't understand. Why are you working as a waxwork here, Mr. Sholmes? Merely a secret identity, you understand. Though the case is largely solved now. Largely solved? We're talking about the waxwork abduction, I presume. Indeed we are, my good fellow. As I predicted, it was as easy as proverbial pie. Though I confess, I'm yet to partake of a pie, proverbial or otherwise. Or any food so far today, for that matter. Maybe get some grub? Oh dear, let's go get some dinner, mate, and we'll talk over dinner. That stomach rumble echoed around the whole museum. So, how did you manage to solve it so quickly? Ah, well, do you remember I said it was largely solved? Anyway, I simply negotiated with the culprit. Are you familiar with the so-called telephone? Oh yes, it's a most modern invention allowing you to hold a conversation with people far away. In Japan, only the imperial capital and a handful of other cities are connected as yet. This morning, a telephone call was received here from the perpetrator of the abduction. As such, I was able to negotiate terms, and in the end, the waxwork was returned. That's amazing. Just between you and I, it would appear the culprit had always intended to return the stolen waxwork in any event. Oh, but I thought whoever was responsible had demanded a ransom, no? Yes, I think perhaps The ransom demand was necessary to avoid unwanted suspicion regarding the true motive. But does that not mean your negotiating was entirely unnecessary? A fact that I must ask you to keep from Madame Tuspel at all cost. A hungry young Iris awaits my return to Baker Street, after all. Poor Iris. Now then, do I sense that you have some business with this great waxwork? I do. Enoch Drebber? So we'll start there. We're in the process of trying to track somebody down. Oh! Yes, a man by the name of Enoch Drebber. He's the swindler who duped Professor Hairbrain and the engineer who built the kinesis machine. A swindler and an engineer. Quite the modern man. Also seems to be a conjurer of sorts too, with considerable knowledge of stage magic. We really do need to locate him before the trial resumes tomorrow morning. But we have so few clues to go on. That's the trouble. Do you have any good leads? Or ideas? I have no data yet. It is a capital mistake to have good ideas before one has data. If I knew something of the man's appearance, at least, I may be in a better position to help. Ah, yes, Trepper's appearance. Fortunately for you, however, presently I have little to occupy myself and little to fill my stomach. As soon as you find a clue, no matter how small, I should gladly give you my thoughts on it. Well, before we go into Casimir's death, let's go with that. I want to present him. Fine, we'll go with the Casimir's death. I've got to go out and do the option, I know. Mr. Sholmes, did you lie to us? My dear Mr. Naruhodo, stay that piercing stare. What is it all about? Last winter, when we were first on our way to Britain aboard the steamship, your words were very clear. So then, let us unravel this mystery and discover what events led to this curious murder. You told us that it was murder. You examined Kazuma-sama's body. Indeed. And wherein lies the problem? He's not dead, mate. We met him earlier today. The victim, Kazuma Asogi. You're quite sure? He was wearing some sort of mask. He was apparently suffering from amnesia. But yes, I'm quite sure. It was Kazuma-sama. You must have known at the time, Mr. Sholmes, that he wasn't actually dead. Well, I can only assume I was swept under in the murderous atmosphere of the moment. But the fellow wasn't dead at all. Priceless. I don't suppose that performance would pass muster, would it, Mr. Naruhodo? I could believe that the crewman present at the time made a mistake. But not you, Mr. Sholmes. Sholmes is just like, shit. I will now tell you something of the first importance, my dear fellow. Great detectives are wont to lie. It will serve you well to remember that. Please, Mr. Sholmes. Tomorrow in court, you will find yourself on the threshold of a very great mystery. For now, I'm afraid that is all I can say. Alright, we'll present you with the picture then. That's fine. Mr. Sholmes, would you cast your eyes over this photographic print? It's of Mr. Enoch Drebber. The face of the engineer we seek. Well, all Englishmen look broadly the same, of course. So looking at this photograph won't be particularly instructive. Are you alright, Mr. Sholmes? Ah, yes, forgive me. Very interesting, this. Very interesting indeed. What's wrong, Mr. Sholmes? You've turned quite pale all of a sudden.